In this episode of ChatGPT vs. CFP, we're going to ask the question, will my bank fail like First Republic Bank? And depending on the answer, we'll see whether or not I still have a job. The format of this series is we're going to ask 3 questions of increasing complexity to see how well the chatbot performs. Then I will respond to each question and/or comment on the chatbot's responses. And then finally, be sure to stick around to the end where I'll fill in any gaps that there may be in the chatbot's answers. Hi, I'm Mike, a CFP who's dedicated his career to helping people quit the rat race. So if you want to level up your finance game with someone who actually does this stuff for a living, start now by subscribing and clicking on the bell to make sure you don't miss out on anything. Question number 1, why do banks fail? All right, here it goes. Poor management, economic downturns, fraud, regulatory issues, liquidity problems. Okay, that's the one that we're looking for. Systemic risk. And okay, it's going to summarize, but liquidity is the one we want. So this answer actually makes me think of that great scene between Robert Redford and Ben Kingsley in the movie Sneakers, if you've ever seen that.
Posit. People think a bank might be financially shaky. Consequence.
People start to withdraw their money.
Result. Pretty soon it is financially shaky.
Conclusion. You can make banks fail.
Now they're of course only talking about one of the options for bank failure that ChatGPT has highlighted here. It's the liquidity issue where people thought it was unstable, so they started pulling out their money and there wasn't enough money to be pulled out, so the bank failed. It's essentially that issue that happens in It's a Wonderful Life.
All right, Tom, how much do you need?
$242.
No, Tom, just enough to tide you over until the bank.
I'll take $242.
Question number 2, how common are bank failures? All right, the bank failures are relatively rare events. That's good. Okay. The FDIC reports there's 25. Okay, that's key. 25 bank failures recently as opposed to 140 in the housing bubble. All right, and then, more just comfort. So this answer is helpful maybe at calming fears that you might have about the likelihood of your bank failing. But what it doesn't do, and I'm a little surprised it didn't go into this, is it didn't talk about the slew of legislation that always followed certain bank failures in an effort to make sure that those same failures are not repeated. So it's a little surprising that maybe it didn't cover that, but at the same time, maybe all we really wanted was to be comforted. And so the statistics here are pretty comforting. The first 2 questions, while informative, are largely academic. And the reason that most people want to know how the banks fail is because they want to know what they can do to protect themselves from bank failure. So that's going to be our 3rd question. What can I do to protect myself from a bank failure? Okay. Yes, concerned. Check that your bank is insured by the FDIC, of course. Diversify deposits across different accounts, sure. Monitor your activity, that's kind of fraud-based. Stay informed, I don't know what that's doing. Okay, consider alternative investments. It's strange it's focusing on other kinds of cash product because that's not typically what alternative investments means. It's not surprising that the ChatGPT bot didn't go outside of the bounds of the question. It kind of kept it contained to other banking products. And perhaps there was a way I could have worded the question where it would have given me a more meaningful response. But here's the key. Me wording the question in a way to get the right response from the chatbot actually requires me to be the expert. If I'm the expert, why do I really need the chatbot? So that is, of course, one of the primary limitations of a chatbot and is good job security for those of us who've taken the time to make ourselves industry professionals. Now, maybe you have a financial question that you're super curious how my answer might differ from that of the chatbot. Go ahead and drop that question in the comment section below and maybe I'll answer it.